And we are lucky enough, though, to have with us in the studio former New Zealand Rally champion Chris West. Chris, a little unscheduled, but we got there in the end. Welcome.
Thank you. Big
deal for you this week.
Absolutely. We've been fortunate enough to put a program together and launch Andrew Sims Mitsubishi Thursday night. So it's been very busy, but we're looking forward to obviously rallying New Zealand and getting back on to the rallying program.
You're no stranger to Mitsubishi, are you?
No, it's, we started, both Gary and I actually started the championship some 7 or 8 years ago with Mitsubishi, and we had a lot of success, and obviously that followed through and brought us to where we are today. So
interesting with your team as well. You've got Neil Allport preparing the car. I mean, it could hardly be better in terms of rally experience.
Oh, for sure. Like Neil at Rally Out New Zealand here is is leading not only in New Zealand but all over the world. He's got a very, very renowned reputation for essentially building the best Mitsubishi around. So we're fortunate enough to have Neil and his team on board, and they've done a fantastic job in the last couple of months putting a nice car together for us, and it's really up to Gary and I to put the whole package together in the weekend.
Rally champion in 2004, you've pretty much been on the sidelines this year. How tough has that been?
It's been tough. We essentially finished our contract at the end of the last season and looked around for some opportunities, and it has been tough. We've managed to go and do some reconnaissance in the meantime at the events that I think we're up to around 5 now. So we haven't disappeared totally from the scene, but essentially the driving is has been a wee bit light this year. But that's the whole idea is behind next weekend at Rally New Zealand is to get in behind the wheel for a program that will start with 2008 championship.
Must be pretty weird for you as a former New Zealand Rally champion. You go to the events, you do the reconnaissance, and just when everybody else is firing up to race, you disappear. Yeah,
it's we have actually talked about that several times when we've left, but we spend the day and then essentially disappear. So it's pretty tough to obviously for a competitor to stand around and watch all the other guys at their work. So we tend to disappear and come back and do reconnaissance at their next event. So.
How much testing have you done?
Not a lot. We've been fortunate enough to get out in the car this morning, and that's really our testing's going to start at Rally NZ, and that's the whole concept of essentially launching Andrew Sims Mitsubishi into the rally program with up and coming Rally NZ.
All right, Chris, we'll come back and talk about that some more. Plenty to talk about with Rally NZ happening next weekend. Chris West, former New Zealand Rally champion, getting back into it next weekend in a Mitsubishi for Rally New Zealand, and then carrying on into the National Championship next year as well. To the 4th round of the Rally National Championship, a one-day event in Hawke's Bay. A great opportunity for the championship contenders to close the gap on the leader, Richard Mason.
Round 4 of the Vantage Aluminium New Zealand Rally Championship, and we're in the Hawke's Bay on the east coast of New Zealand's North Island. The rally will be run on roads stretching from just north of Napier to the historic port town of Wairoa. Just 2 points separate Richard Mason and Hayden Padden going into this round. But with Mason not attending due to commitments in China, Padden has a golden opportunity to make a break. But once again, the young driver will have to cope with running first on the road, sweeping the gravel for the following cars. And here are the Fantastic Four. Richard Mason with a very slender lead over young gun Hayden Padden. Sam Murray still in with a spin, and Dean Sumner lurking on 104 points. He is still within cooey of the number 1 spot. And the pressure, though, is all on young Hayden Padden.
Hayden, looks like you won on the road again.
Yeah, no, it should be good. The roads are not too bad compared to Wairarapa, so we shouldn't have too much of a disadvantage, and there's only a couple of stages where there's a lot of gravel, so we'll do the best we can and just concentrate once again on a good clean rally, and especially with Richard not being here, it's vital that we get some points.
With Richard not being here, does that take the pressure off you a bit?
No, not at all. Like, there's some other quick drivers here like Sam and Dean and the locals, and so it's going to be very tough, and the pressure's always on, and there's still a long way to go in this championship.
Dean, a lot of people talking about you tomorrow. I guess you're the favourite.
Yeah, so we keep on being told, but yeah, a lot can happen tomorrow, and with Richard not being here, then if you go off the last rally and the results we did there, then yeah, maybe, but there'll be still a lot of fast guy. Hayden's going really well, and you got some guys from the back too that in the last rally, everyone's on a pretty even playing field at the moment and winning stages. So.
You got your AC, your number 2 on the road?
I've only just been told that, yeah, and number 2 on the road, so we're going to have to go and make some changes to the car now, so just tonight to really prepare for that, because we've got the car really set up for being 4th on the road. That's going to be something new for me as well, being running that high. But the road conditions are looking like really good. There's not much gravel on the road either, so yeah, it should be a bit of a learning day for me tomorrow, really.
And perseverance by Sam Murray has seen him stay in touch with the leaders despite lacking pace in round 3.
Sam, after Wairarapa, you weren't particularly happy. You've done a bit of testing since then.
Yeah, we've done a good couple of days testing, and we think we've got a pretty good car now. It's probably the first time I'm actually confident enough to say that we have got a good car, and it'll be interesting to see how we go tomorrow.
What about yourself? You feeling confident?
Yeah, I am. I'm pretty confident. We've done a little bit of, as I say, we've done some testing in the car, so I'm feeling confident. Come down with a flu this week, which probably isn't 100%, but that's not going to hinder us at all.
You found anything with the car and testing?
Yeah, we've probably found a little bit more power out of the car, and we've found a pretty good setup now, and obviously the Yokohama tyre we've found a good compromise with that. So yeah, I'm pretty confident we should be in good shape.
After all your dismal at Wairarapa and some other rallies, you're still 3rd in the championship, and you're in with a hope.
Yeah, we are. We've finished every round, which is good, but it's probably been our worst season for results so far. So, we can't have another rally where we've struggled like we have in the others. So tomorrow's really make or break.
Welcome to the Hawke's Bay.
Being the top local driver, Stuart Taylor had put his full support behind the event.
Stuart being the rally sponsor, it looks like you get the benefits as well.
We had to impress for this weekend. If we can't do really well on the road, we wanted to show the Hawke's Bay, sort of thank them for their support.
What made you sponsor the rally, you and your dad?
I guess the car club was looking for help, and other parties weren't forthcoming, so we jumped into it and thought we'd give a bit back, because we've had a lot of help from a lot of people.
So as Hayden Padden leads the field away, let's check out the stages with our Vantage Aluminium Joinery stage preview.
Rally Hawke's Bay starts with the County Road stage, Waitara Road, very, very fast road, which will be a real wake-up call at 7 o'clock in the morning, very early start. Hopefully it'll just be coming light. We then head into Mohaka Forest, another stage that has been used many times in the past. Challenging road, especially at the end where it gets quite narrow and quite overgrown. Then Mohaka Coach stage, another Hawke's Bay favourite, usually heavily gravelled, so you won't want to be first on the road. After service at Wairoa, we head out to another 2 stages. Waihi, which is one of my favourite stages in New Zealand rallying. Awesome stage, fast flowing, and hopefully it'll be a little bit sweat by the time I get there. Next stage, Cricklewood, another awesome stage, some big drops at the start, but again, flowing fast roads at the end. After service again at Wairoa, we repeat Mohaka Coach that we did in the morning. Very challenging stage this. Starts off quite fast, but then tightens up over a hill. Very tight, and it's definitely a challenge. Will be a bit easier with all the gravel swept off in the afternoon. We then head back down towards Napier into the following stage, Darky Spur. And if I was talking about big drops before, this stage really takes the cake. Basically, the cameraman has to be harnessed onto the side of the hill to prevent himself from falling down some really big drops. Great stage though, and it's not all like that. It opens out towards the finish and is a real blast.
It's a beautiful morning, but a shock for Padden on stage 1. The sun is just over the horizon, and he struggled to see in the early part of the stage. The light is a little better for Sumner, next car on the road. At least enough for our cameras to show the road conditions, Roger.
Road conditions actually don't look too bad here, Darcy. The one thing is the light. The light probably looks better on TV here, but it is a struggle for the drivers early this morning. I bet they didn't expect this light problem, but Dean's looking pretty good through here.
Sumner, in fact, 35 seconds faster than Padden. Next up, Sam Murray, out to prove that he can be back on the pace after a truly awful time at Wairarapa, and he's just 6 seconds down on Sumner. On board with Emma Gilmore, and there is a graphic illustration of just how dark it is. The camera's only just able to show us the car interior. Emma will be looking for a breakthrough here, hoping that she's recovered both physically and mentally from that crash at Whangarei.
80.
don't really know if that's going to do Emma's confidence any good. Glenn talking like that, he's the expert, I guess, but I don't really know if that's going to install any confidence back in her.
48 minus into 6 laps.
And it probably didn't there, Roger. Not very quick from Emma, 35 seconds down on Sumner, who's setting the pace so far. Brett Martin has slipped in the standings this year due to a couple of DNFs at round 1 and 3, so he's running 6th on the road. But he doesn't seem to be getting any advantage from that road position and finishes the stage 19 seconds slower than his teammate Dean Sumner.
4 left minus, don't cut.
But Dylan Turner certainly was making ground. On board here, we can see the road has certainly been swept.
Yes, the roads are swept, Darcy, and he's driving with a fair bit of aggression. He's driving well through here.
60.
Dylan Turner's a guy who sometimes goes very, very quick at the start of the rally, and he's certainly thrown the car in through here. Nice line through here for Dylan.
5 left opens, kinks 50, 3 left, crest, 6 right minus.
Dylan just 15 seconds off Sumner's pace. But the stage 1 surprise came from rally sponsor Stu Taylor, running back behind Turner, and now with plenty of light and plenty of grip, he led the rally with a stage time nearly 5 seconds faster than Sumner and 35 seconds faster than Padden.
5 left minus opens, kinks 50.
Another charge from Wellington driver Nathan Thomas saw him slot in ahead of Turner to be 4th. And continuing his good form, rookie Callum McInnes would finish the stage in 8th position.
Well, Callum's just gone a little bit wide on that corner, but both him and Nathan Thomas are making the best of these swept road conditions. They're getting a lot of grip out of it.
So at the end of stage 1, it's Stuart Taylor with a 4.6 second lead over Sumner. Sam Murray will be pleased with 3rd, just 11 seconds back, heading Thomas, Turner and Martin. So a great start for the rally sponsor as they head to the first refuel.
Sue, you said you wanted to win your home rally. You started the best way possible. You've won the stage.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, no, it's good to know. We had a careful start over the fast stuff at the beginning. There's one thing I never thought of, and that was my shift light. It was really bright, and it was really dark at the start of the day, and I was getting blinded every time it went over the revs, and there was a struggle through that fast stuff. But once we got over the top of the hill, it was really nice. I enjoyed it coming down.
Dean Good, first stage. Out of the top 5, you're the fastest.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we had quite a few moments on that stage. So, yeah, now we've got an in-car camera. We have to confess, and I'm sure you can go back and have a laugh over some of the footage. But it was pretty slippery, a lot more slippery than what I expected it was going to be.
You're about 30 seconds quicker than Hayden Padden through there.
Okay, yeah, he might have had a problem or something. I don't know, but yeah, we've got to probably tone it down a little bit, I think.
So I guess the morning started the best way for you.
Yeah, I sort of got to get through the first stage, and because it was quite a long one, you don't want to be coming out of there on the back foot really. So I wanted to make sure I put a good effort in and set a good time so that we can see what everyone else's pace is as well.
Sam, good start this morning. You're 3rd fastest.
Yeah, it was an okay start. You know, getting used to the car, it's quite a bit different to the last rally, and I think it's pretty good. These next stages should suit us. So it was a bit of a warm-up stage.
Road conditions, Stu Taylor won the stage and Nathan Thomas was 4th, so maybe the guys down the back are doing the job.
Yeah, some parts of that stage had very little gravel on it and others had quite a bit, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens over the next 2.
Now, you may have noticed that Mark Tapper was occupying 7th place on the results, an absolutely stunning effort which sees him in the thick of the action with the 4-wheel drives.
We had sort of an overshoot on the first intersection and a spin just up the road. And the car doesn't seem to rev over 6 grand, so I think we might have inherited Kane's problems, but we'll be right.
Kane Barry was 2nd in the class, but the challenge from Southlander Chris Lang fell apart when they had a fire extinguisher malfunction and were eventually caught on the stage by Dermot Malley.
Chris, first stage, a few problems.
Yeah, our fire extinguisher button self-imploded and we actually thought we were on fire, so we jumped out of the car and checked it out, but no fire. We've get back into it.
Not the best way to start.
No, not ideal. We will not catch that time back up unless everybody has about 5 punctures each. So that's probably us for the day, but we'll go and do the best we can with what we've got.
Adding interest to the class, former Kiwi 2 driver Glenn Inkster was making a one-off appearance and was just 10 seconds down on Barry after stage 1. Coming up on the Vantage Aluminium Rally Championship, can Stuart Taylor hold on to the lead as the rally heads into the Mohaka Forest? Stage 2, Mohaka Forest, is 22 kilometres long with both wide and narrow forestry roads.
Plus line.
Once again, Hayden Paddon has to contend with being first on the road. And Roger, that 35-second deficit must seem like a big challenge at this stage.
Yes, it will be a big challenge, but there's 2 things in the stage to his favour that he didn't have on stage 1. Number 1, he can see where he's going, the sun's come out. Number 2, it's a forest stage, the gravel, the road won't be as bad as what it is on a public road. In other words, he'll be able to get traction. Being one on the road won't be such a major issue.
Well, he sets a time of 16 minutes 11, a new stage record, so that is encouraging. Dean Sumner won't be too worried by Paddon. Rather, it's those drivers like Stu Taylor running further back in the order who could upset his victory plans.
Yes, well, Dean is 4.3 seconds down on Hayden in this stage, but it's not really a problem. He still leads the rally. No need to panic yet.
And Sam Murray won't want to give too much away here either. He's 10 seconds down on Hayden and still 12 seconds down on Sumner overall. The big question is, can Stu Taylor hold on to the lead, Roger?
Well, he won't have the road advantage in this stage, like I said earlier, being the forest stage. But he knows the area well. He lives down here in Hastings, and all he has to do is keep his head and drive, concentrate, keep a bit of speed in the car. You can see there, he's concentrating. He looks very relaxed, actually.
Well, 4th fastest time on the stage, and he drops to 2nd by 1.5 seconds over new rally leader Dean Sumner. Brett Martin also improved, 5th fastest on the stage and now closing on Dylan Turner. In fact, Turner was now in 5th, just 0.7 seconds behind Paddon, who'd moved up to 4th after his stage win.
Well, you can see the stage as they get near the end here. It really narrows up. It's a little bit of roughness there as well. It's big arms and elbow stuff for the drivers. Totally contrast to what they had earlier on.
Stage 3, Mohaka Coach Road, is a beautiful county road which climbs a steep hill before descending, tight and twisty, to the end. Dean Sumner held on to the lead through here, but behind him, the battle for 2nd place was really hotting up.
30.
Well, you can see the road condition there. In fact, Dean is struggling on these conditions. Heavy gravel build-up, back into a county road, and a problem for 1 or 2 on the road, maybe even 3, Sam Murray. Hayden Paddon will really struggle in these conditions. Dean is struggling, as we can see here.
6 right, 100, and 4 right, 30. This is 4 right, 30, and 6 left, 50. And 4 left plus, and long 4 right. This 4 left plus, and long 4 right. 30.
Yeah, and completely sideways there. Let's take a look at Dean's time. It's 12 minutes 30.3 at the finish. Sam Murray next, and a great time too. 12 minutes 30.5, so just 0.2 of a second separating the two. Will that be enough to push Taylor back to 3rd?
3 left opens.
Well, on board now through the stage, and he's certainly got less gravel to contend with, Roger.
He certainly has less gravel to contend with, and it's really up to him to make it or break it. He could really dominate the rally from here on if he has a good run through here. Stu Taylor's looking pretty smooth with his lines through here, coming towards the end of the stage. And water all over the screen. I don't know if he can actually see, and he's just gone off the road. Well, that's going to be disappointing. That's blowing it for him.
50, 4 right plus.
That was scary.
Yep, 150, 6 right minus. Just about there, 30.
Well, that's reassuring words from the co-driver. But Stuart Taylor, he's really got to get his concentration back on track here.
100.
He'd be bitterly disappointed with what happened, but like I said, he's got to get his concentration back.
30.
And Darcy, it's really not the best thing that's happened on the 3rd stage.
4 left plus, long 4 right.
Okay, so what's that cost to Taylor?
8 left.
Comes up, crosses the line.
120,
It's 12:45.3. That's 15 seconds down, so he'll move into third behind Murray. Dylan Turner blew a turbo on this stage last year, but this year he's flying.
He certainly is flying. He's got a lot of speed through there. Now, Dylan's done a bit of testing since the last round with this car. They had a problem with the centre diff. Basically, in layman's terms, made the car very sideways. It straightened it up so he can actually drive the car quite straight and adjust his driving style.
So Dylan just 0.3 seconds slower than Murray and moves up to third position. But the real flyer through the stage was Brett Martin, who just nudged out Murray for the stage win by 0.2 of a second and moves up to fifth place in the process. But the news was all bad for Hayden Paddon. After such a great stage time in 2, he was back 7th fastest through this stage, and that dropped him back behind Brett Martin to 6th overall.
Well, Hayden Paddon be quite disappointed with that, but he probably knew he'd have this problem being number 1 on the road. This particular road has always rewarded the cars running further down the field, so it's a struggle for him. The next few stages coming up are repeat stages, so it's going to suit him. He will make a comeback, I think.
Nathan Thomas was holding steady in 7th and was now 45 seconds down on the leader. But remember, this is an older Evo 7 Mitsubishi. Emma Gilmore was now up to 8th, but it wasn't really the pace she'd been hoping for at the start of the rally.
As we can see there, Emma on and off the throttle, hitting the brake a little bit hard. Still got to get that confidence back. It's a patience game. It will come back.
3 left, tightens hug. 3 left, tightens hug. 4 right, minus 3 left, opens long. 3 left, opens long.
And top rookie Callum McInnes just dropping back to 9th position. Malley was a real surprise at Rally Wairarapa, posting times in the top 5. He had a brand new car for this rally, and the new generation Evo 9 and teething problems were keeping him 10th in this rally. So after 3 stages, Dean Sumner is leading by 7.9 seconds from Sam Murray. Stuart Taylor would still be happy with 3rd on his home event. Tapper was the clear leader in the battle for Fiesta and 2-wheel drive honours, but the surprise leader of Kiwi 2 was Andrew Keeley. Bert Murray had picked up after his round 3 gearbox failure and had a comfortable lead in the classics and was in 14th, just behind Keeley. Dave Strong was 16 seconds down on Keeley in the battle for Kiwi 2 in his Honda Civic. But 3rd in class Reg Cook was over 90 seconds further back in his Nissan, so once again the Hondas with the upper hand. 2nd in the Classics was Ewan Fuge, and if he stayed there, then his chances of winning the Classic Championship looked pretty good. Rob Wiley had done some suspension development in the brakes since round 3, and he was pushing hard. He'd been ahead of Fuge for the first 2 stages, but just dropped back to 3rd in stage 3. So Mark Tapper still in a great position in 11th place, leading the Fiesta charge ahead of 15-year-old rookie Sloane Cox. Well, Dean Sumner has actually been the pace setter all season, if he can just finish without problems.
Dean, looks like everything's going pretty good at the moment. You're currently leading.
Yeah, it's been an interesting morning. I'm not used to really sweeping the roads, so we've made some changes to our tyres to compensate for that. It's a lot more slipperier than what I first thought it was going to be on recce. It looked really quite swept off on recce, but there's real fine loose gravel on top of it. It's very slippery and making it quite difficult.
Been number 2 on the road, first time you've been up there, so you find it a bit of a struggle?
Yeah, first stage it just took a while to get like a rhythm into it, and yeah, but they sort of settled into it, and it's just the levels of grip are not the best, so you can't really have a good charge. Just because there's no line there at all, and I can't even see where Hayden's been in front of me, and so it's making it pretty interesting at times.
Sam Murray has kept pace with Sumner on the morning stages to trail by just 8 seconds.
Yeah, we've had a good morning all but Mohaka Forest, which is a little bit tough for us. We opted not to run a cut tyre for the morning, and probably through there it cost us a little bit. But the last stage was good, and I think we're in good shape for the next two.
You're about 8 seconds behind Dean Sumner.
Yeah, it would have been nice to probably come here in front, but we'll push for these next two and see what happens.
Bit of a gravel build-up in the next two stages?
The first one's not so bad, but there is perhaps a little bit in the second, but they're again both quite long stages, so Ricky may have swept a bit off, and being long stages, I think it'll even itself out.
Stuart, a big three-way battle at the moment, and you're third.
Yeah, we didn't have a good run through stage 3. We had a failure in our jack. We couldn't do a front to rear tyre swap like we planned to. And then we also found our new hydraulic handbrake, the adjustment in the switch, which triggers off the centre diff, it had failed. So it meant that the centre diff thought the handbrake was on all the time. So the car was a real handful in there. And then we had a bit of water, and it was hard work.
Well, after all that, you're only 12 seconds behind the leader.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, yeah, we can sort of reset ourselves now and head off to Waihi and give it a better shot, knowing the car's sort of sorted.
It had also been a good morning for Dylan Turner, although he had been hoping to win stage 3.
That last stage I tried really hard. I've always wanted to win that stage because I love that stage. And we had two problems. We went off the road and understeered into a corner and lost probably 3 seconds and lost it by 0.3 of a second. So, yeah, never mind. That's my mistake. But we still did the second, third quickest time, so pretty happy with that.
Brett, looks like it came right. You won stage 3.
Yeah, I think the road conditions may have helped a little bit there, but we certainly, the first couple of stages this morning, the car's been sort of going from oversteer to understeer, and we're not quite sure what the problem was when we changed the diff setting for the last stage, and it sort of made a little bit of difference, so it sort of showed in our time.
Your position on the road would be, I guess, one of the best positions to be in?
Yeah, it's not too bad. There's lines are starting to be made, and it's not cut up anywhere yet, so it's quite good.
Hayden, been a bit of an interesting morning. You won one stage and the other two not so good.
No, the second stage, which I think we did a good time in, was sort of a different sort of surface to the other two. The first stage I simply just wasn't on the pace, simple as that, not making any excuses, and in that last stage it was really slippery, and from Ricky yesterday I've definitely underestimated how slippery it is, and I think it's going to be like that for much of the day.
Coming up, just 4 more stages, so the pressure piles on at the top of the table on Rally Hawke's Bay. Stage 4, Waihi, is a classic Hawke's Bay stage, ending on a very fast, twisty downhill road, and Dean Sumner poured on the pace here, smashing the stage record by 1 minute 20 seconds to post a 19 minutes 22.
Well, that's actually sensational, Darcy, because the road condition is quite wet. That'll probably suit him a lot better than what he's had earlier in the day, because he's going to get a little bit more grip, but that is a massive time to beat the stage record by. This stage here is a real driver's stage.
Sam Murray was going to have to push hard to keep in touch. He was 6 seconds slower and slipped to 14 seconds behind the leader. Stu Taylor was coming under pressure from Brett Martin now for the 3rd position. He was 15 seconds off Sumner's pace through here.
Now look at this stage. This is a stage that a rally driver really gets his teeth in. They thoroughly enjoy it through here. And Darcy, I think even you would enjoy it through this stage.
You obviously haven't seen me drive. Martin now closing the gap to 3rd, just 5.8 seconds. Talk about pressure. But Hayden Paddon wasn't showing too many signs of being under pressure. Rather, he seemed to have accepted his fate at the front of the field and was knuckling down to getting as many points as he could from the rally. Good news was, he was now in 5th.
One left, don't go wide.
Well, we've seen this from Hayden Paddon before, where halfway through the day he's out the back door and then he comes back. And he's doing just that now. One thing good rally drivers do is they go very well downhill. Hayden Paddon's no exception. In fact, he was changing up gear going downhill here. He looks very smooth.
Paddon's 5th had come at the expense of Dylan Turner, who was about 15 seconds off the pace of the top 5 drivers on this stage. He dropped to 6th.
6 left plus.
Well, 15 seconds doesn't sound a lot, but basically that's probably dropped Dylan out of a podium plate. Maybe road conditions running further down now, a little bit slippery, could be a disadvantage.
At the other end into the top 10, Nathan Thomas was in 7th, but now a distant minute back from Turner. Emma Gilmore's disappointing run continued in 8th, but just 10 seconds back from Thomas. McInnes continued to dominate the rookie class and holding 9th. In fact, he's been a top 10 finisher on all the rounds so far. And slowly some pace coming for Patrick Malley as he made changes to the new car in what was really turning into a test session for the team. Stage 5, Cricklewood, is another county road with very fast sections on a hard base and certainly a favourite with the drivers. Sumner again fastest, but this time he was at a disadvantage with some thick gravel on the stage.
Certainly was, Darcy. You can see he's all over the place there, but he's certainly got some pace on.
Sam Murray wasn't ready to concede and he was just 0.9 of a second down on Sumner through the stage, so that gap to second still around 15 seconds. Stu Taylor should have been able to take advantage of the sweat roads, but the Hawke's Bay driver was unable to capitalise and was just 6th fastest through the stage, so his 3rd place was under threat.
5 left plus at yards, 30, 4 right plus, 30, 4 left, absolute straight small crest, 50.
Brett Martin also failed to take advantage of the roads and was virtually equal to Taylor on the stage, so he remained in 4th. But Hayden Padden had decided to put on the pressure, his stage times dropping as he now closed within 5 seconds of Martin.
And you can see he's working the wheel reasonably hard there. Now Hayden's on a charge here. Surprising he's doing so well because there's a heavy gravel build-up on the road. But he's a determined young man.
And a stunning 4th fastest for Callum McInnes, which moves him up to 8th after the stage. So with just 2 stages to run, it's Sumner looking like he's got the rally under control. Murray comfortable in 2nd, but look at the battle for 3rd. Just 12 seconds separate Taylor, Martin and Padden.
We've just been really just doing our own thing, and I probably tried tidying up my driving style a bit more on these heavy metal roads. This morning I was driving quite aggressive, and that probably worked a little bit on those quite twisty roads. On these faster ones, it's almost actually slowed down and gone faster, so it's a bit strange.
Looks like Sam's going with you. He's only 1 second slower in the last stage. You're leading the rally 16 seconds over Sam.
Okay, we 1 second. Yeah, that was he must have been going pretty well. We gave the last stage a pretty good nudge, and he's definitely trying. So we'll can't back off now and just have to push as hard as we can through these next 2.
Sam, looks like you got it all together today. You're currently 2nd, and it's a battle between you and Dean.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a problem at the start of the last stage. We got a puncture in between. There wasn't enough time to change it, so got a little bit flustered there. But I'm pretty happy with how the day is. So it'd just be good to close on Dean a little bit.
Currently at the moment, you're 3rd in the championship. You're 2nd in this rally. So what's the plan? 2 stages to go.
We haven't had some good results, so we have to try as hard as we can and try and if we can get maximum points. Dean's obviously going fast, so who knows.
Sure, it looks like you dropped back a little bit. Dean and Sam Murray got ahead of you, about 50 seconds behind them.
Yeah, I've been struggling a little bit out there. I didn't find the smooth track that I was hoping for. It's got a bit wet out there and it cut up a bit, so on my mediums that hadn't been cut, I didn't have the grip that I thought I might have had, and with a few other niggles, so we'll battle away.
2 stages to go. Brett Martin's about 6 seconds behind you, so it's starting to rain. What's the plan?
I guess we're just going to carry on pushing. I'm hoping it might be drier back towards Napier, but Brett's been going well, and I guess we just keep pace with him.
Hayden, 2 stages to go. You're looking a little bit despondent.
Yeah, it's just been a really frustrating day. I don't know why, but my head just hasn't been in it today, and this is the first time that something like this has happened, and I'm having to think about what I'm doing, and I know what I should be doing, I'm just not doing it, and I'm just really lacking the commitment and the confidence.
Maybe been one on the road and also the rain's coming down?
The rain hasn't affected us at all. Actually, the rain's probably been good. It's given us a good grip, and there's a bit of gravel on those last two. But that was the least of my worries. It was trying to commit myself to corners, and it just ain't happening.
Emma Gilmore's day just got worse. She struggled onto service after a small shindig with a rock.
Emma, looks like a bit of bad luck to come in.
Yeah, bad luck, or I don't know, you make your own luck. So, clipped a rock at the start of stage 5, and I thought we'd actually broken the steering, but just bent it badly, and then eventually the tyre went flat at the end of the stage. But pretty lucky, I suppose, it stayed up as long as it did. So.
Up until that point, how did you feel you were going?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with the stage before. I felt like I was getting more into the groove, but it was quite a lot of fast sections and probably still threw away too much time in there. But I just started to feel a bit more comfortable, so yeah, it just takes time.
Mark Tapper continued to dominate the Fiesta group and was still 11th overall after stage 5. Murray was actually the second two-wheel drive in his RX-7, and he's also leading the classic class. Kane Barry's been Mr. Consistent in the Fiesta class, and second here will cement his lead. Dave Strong made his charge on these two stages and pulled out a 24-second lead over Andrew Keeley. There was an interesting development in the classic battle with second place Ewan Fuge and third place Rob Wiley both copping penalties for late check-ins.
No, actually, we were all standing around talking and didn't clock in, so it was all a bit stupid, really. But
OK, it's down to 1.9 seconds, 2 stages to go, and the rain's pouring down. What are you going to do?
Try and go faster than he does. But he likes that Mohaka stage, so we'll have to see how we go. We have to do a lot better than we did this morning in Mohaka. So.
Coming up, it's mountain goat territory. Bring on Darky's Spur.
In our Fujitsu fact file, let's compare the top 2 front-wheel drive rally cars. Dave Strong in his Honda Civic and Mark Tapper in the Ford Fiesta. The Honda Civic has 240 horsepower, it weighs 1,235 kgs and top speed 210 kilometres an hour. The Fiesta only has 165 horsepower, but it only weighs 1,090 kg.
So after a repeat of Mohaka Coach Road, the rally finished with the awesome Darky's Spur, a hill climb not for the faint-hearted. In the classics, Robert Murray held on for an easy win, but if he is to retain his title, then he has to hope that second-place man Ewan Fuge doesn't finish the final round. Fuge has cemented a good lead in the points, and if the RX3 man can keep up this pace, he may become one of our more senior rally champions. His job certainly made easier when Rob Wiley's Nissan succumbed on the final stage.
Unfortunately, I've broken a rod end in one of the links that goes to the diff, and so the diff wanders from side to side. So that's the end of our rally.
So it was Deborah Kibble in the main freight team Lancer Turbo who had claimed third place. So at the completion of the round, Ewan Fuge on 142 points leads the classic drivers ahead of Robert Murray and Rob Wiley. Dave Strong is again looking invincible in the Kiwi 2 class, and this come-from-behind victory certainly cements his title hopes for 2007. But it's been an encouraging result for Andrew Keeley, especially with the early failure of fellow Honda driver Aaron Cook, who was out from stage 1. Cook's Nissan isn't quite a classic, but it's certainly the old girl of the class. So third for the old boy of New Zealand Rally, a great result. And Shane Booth brought home the Ignis in 4th position. So points for Kiwi 2. Dave Strong with an almost unassailable lead, but not quite. Andrew Keeley, 47 points behind. The Fiestas just get better, and Mark Tapper surely put up some stunning times on his way to winning the class. Kane Barry couldn't match Tapper, but he doesn't have to. Second place, enough to see him well in the lead and looking good for that trip to the UK. It may have been a different story for Chris Lang had that fire extinguisher not gone off, but he was gifted third when Glenn Inkster rolled late in the afternoon after matching Kane Barry's times all day. Dermot Malley keeps his points alive in the Group N3 class with fourth position. So Kane Barry's still in the lead, but Mark Tapper has definitely driven his way back into contention, only 25 points behind and only a few further points back to Dermot Malley. We haven't seen much of him on the rally, but another fine drive by 15-year-old Sloane Cox to finish 13th overall. Patrick Malley's debut in the Evo 9 resulted in 10th place and a lot of valuable testing before Rally NZ. But at 9th, Emma Gilmore is left with more questions than answers as she prepares for her PWRC debut at Rally NZ.
Well, it's certainly a test on confidence when you got drops like this through Darky Spur, and Emma actually did mention on her stage preview. But the team definitely have got some work to do before Rally New Zealand. Emma, hopefully she can do a little bit more testing to get some more confidence up, because Rally New Zealand will be all on.
It's not the top 5, but 8th for Nathan Thomas, showing that he has good pace despite little experience at this level. Likewise, Callum McInnes has been the outstanding rookie for 2007. 7th here and almost assured the rookie title. Once again, Dylan Turner let a podium slip from his hands, disappointing in 6th position.
Minus, long, 2 left, narrow bridge, tightens at the end.
Taylor too would have hoped for a better result after leading the rally, but this is just his 2nd year in the championship and 5th is still a great result under that sort of pressure.
7 left minus over small crest, which is straight, 50, 4 right minus tightens.
Stuart showed us today he's got plenty of pace. He's already won a championship heat, so he's looked pretty good. And again, congratulations to Stuart and his father Trevor for sponsoring the rally, putting something back into the sport.
Oh, good work, mate.
Hayden Padden has finished 4th, so now takes an 18-point jump on Richard Mason. In the end, just 6 seconds separating him and the podium, but at least he'll be on well-swept roads when he starts in the PWRC field at Rally NZ.
And just talking about Rally NZ, the only other international rally that Hayden's done, he won. So there's a lot of expectations for him in the Rally New Zealand. He's definitely been the find of the season.
Brett Martin fought back from a slow start for 3rd and a satisfying result at the business end of the season. Result 2 for the Fram team. 2nd place for Sam Murray keeps him well in the challenge for the 2007 crown. Finally, for Dean Sumner, the win he'd been so desperate for. He has been the pace man for 2007, but this time there were no mistakes or failures and the results shone through.
Well, Dean Sumner's been doing the championship for about 5 years now. In the early stages, he certainly looked like he had a lot of potential, and it's come through now. The last season or two, he's really built the pace up. He's winning rallies now. And despite having bad luck earlier in the season, he's got a real shot at winning this championship.
5 left plus, tightens, and 4 right plus. 4 right plus, 30, and 3 right. 3 right. Tanks 120. Keep on the line. 5 left minus 100, and 5 right over the finish. 100.
So Dean Sumner holds on for victory by 10.8 seconds over Sam Murray, with Brett Martin a further 35 seconds behind.
Dean, congratulations, your second at Rally Championship round win.
Yeah, awesome. We're absolutely just so happy. Just words cannot describe how we're feeling at the moment. It's been a pretty tough day. We've had to really work for it. Feeling shattered now. I'm glad it's only a one-day rally. I don't think I can go on to do another day. But yeah, I've been awesome. Like my co-driver Paul Fallon, just an exceptional co-driver. He's just doesn't put a foot wrong all day, and he's so confident, and we know each other so well, and it's just perfect. I wouldn't want anyone else in the car, and yeah, my mum and dad and all that, they're all a huge help as well. We couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, Dean drove very well today, and it was a really good day for us to be back on the podium. It's been a little while since we've actually put in a solid result, and we haven't really done it this year, so that's really good. A couple of missed opportunities this afternoon. Mohaka coach probably wasn't as good as we should have been. And the last stage we tried a little bit, and obviously Dean would have been in safe mode, but that was a good result. Shame we went a little bit faster early on.
What do you put it down to at Wairarapa? You're just about ready to give up.
Yeah, we've this year we've gone to a Yokohama tyre and we've gone to XTC suspension, so it's all been different. It's all better, but it's been different, and it's taken a wee while to get the car ready. And after Wairarapa, we really knew we needed to do a lot of work, and we've done that. And there's more speed in it yet, but it's hard to just hop in the car and drive really fast when you're building confidence all day.
Brett, looks like the disastrous year might be turning around. Third place is yours.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an eventful rally, this rally, but certainly wrapped just to get to the finish, and it's a bonus to pick up third place overall.
Big battle with Hayden Paddon this afternoon.
Yeah, it was, and I think both of us are quite glad it rained. It helped him out, but then it also helped me out too with the tyres certainly suiting the wetter roads.
Certainly had some impressive stage times this afternoon. You won the last stage.
Yeah, we sort of probably about halfway through we lost our notes for the second time today, and it's I was thinking, oh no, it's just the time sticking away, and then when we sort of found them a few k's on, and sort of just had to press on, and yeah, we still managed to hold the position.
So in the Drivers' Championship, Hayden Paddon from Geraldine with a lead, but only a slender one over Sam Murray, Richard Mason, who was absent for this rally, and Dean Sumner on the charge.
Hayden, been an interesting day, but fourth place, you got the championship lead.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a frustrating day, but the main thing is that we've come through and we've got the points and we've got the series lead going into Rally New Zealand, which was our main goal coming in here. A bit frustrating, we couldn't have got a better result, but at least we come out with a positive seat, because after the last couple of stages has been a lot better for us, so at least we can go to Rally New Zealand with a positive mind.
Rally New Zealand, where our very own drivers will share the limelight with the best in the world. See you then.
Dean Sumner grabbing the advantage in the opening stage and never letting it go. Now, our guest this afternoon, former New Zealand Rally champion Chris West, who's not been competing this year but has put together a deal for Rally New Zealand next weekend and for the championship next year. And Chris, a huge step for you to go straight into Rally New Zealand.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's I think the timing's right, and I've got absolutely no doubt that the team at Andrew Sims Mitsubishi and Rally Out New Zealand have given us the best car possible for the job.
What would you consider a good result next weekend?
I think a good result is podium finish for the national championship. Outside of that, obviously first Kiwi. But the main priority next weekend is to finish and essentially, adapt my driving style to extract the full potential of the car. And it's going to take a wee bit of time, but we're certainly looking forward to it.
International drivers who are coming here, let's just touch briefly on those. Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Well, it's always great to look forward to the international guys here, and especially with the PWRC this year, there's certainly a lot of drivers out there. I think there's 17 or 18 this year. So there's Pozo, there's obviously Toshi Arai, Yuya Haninen, who won last year. So it's all good to catch up with these guys and have a talk and so forth on what they've been up to through the season.
All right, Chris, well, thanks for dropping by today. Sorry it was cut short by the fire alarm.
No problem at all.
All right, that's Chris West, who's taking part in Rally New Zealand next weekend. Former New Zealand Rally champion in 2004. Hasn't been competing this year, but is coming back next weekend and next season as well. Almost time.
Let's go straight to South Carolina.